GM, everyone, and welcome to another episode of FOMO Hour. Today is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Folks, the sun is shining. We are warming up here in Chicagoland. The snow finally thawing out. Crypto prices, not so much. But there are some real pockets of excitement brewing and some reasons to be optimistic. We're going to get into it on today's show. I'm your host, Tyler D. No Farouk today. He's out in Hong Kong all week. But we got Logan in the house. Logie, Jim, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Tyler. I'm doing well. Yeah, it's a little warmer here. Still lots of ice and snow to melt, but hopefully soon.
I'm a little euphoric this morning, if you can't tell. We're going to be in the 40s today, which is about 70 degrees warmer than we've been for the last month, basically. And I looked at the 10-day, and we're going to be 60 next week.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I saw, so yeah, I just moved. I saw a stat that it was the coldest winter here, the coldest 30-day stretch in the last 42 years or something. Tough.
I think a lot of the East Coast got that. Sure. And granted, we're a little more used to it.
Yeah.
In Chicagoland, but still. It feels like this winter has been brutal. It's been going since Thanksgiving. We're ready to get past this. We're ready to get past this crypto winter as well. I'm not sure if we're all quite as optimistic about that turning in the corner in the next week, but we will certainly see. Looks like we've got someone to help thaw us out from crypto winter here this morning.
Let's go.
GM.
Not enough receding hairline on that screen, so I came around. It's going back.
Well, you're in the Denver area where it's been pretty fantastic this winter, hasn't it? Like I've got friends.
Yeah, I actually live in the mountains, so for us,
okay.
we want snow. The whole economy depends on it, so it's actually been pretty the opposite. All these people who want warm summers are getting cold summers, and our whole economy depends on snow for skiing, and we ain't getting it. So I think this is the least snowfall in 200 years. I mean, basically in recorded history. So it's been rough.
So do you see less tourists?
I think the ski company's revenue is down 40% year on year. I mean, massive. I mean, they haven't even opened up the whole mountain yet. And this is meant to be the coldest 3-week stretch of the year. It's been 55 out. I live at 9,000 feet.
We'll take some of that. We've been hoarding all the cold and snow.
I know. I'll send you some 55-degree weather if you can send some snow out here. But whatever. We got a new dog. She likes the warmer weather, so it all comes down to the dog.
Yeah, we're already getting requests in the chat to show the dog.
Are we really? Oh man, I gotta go get her.
Your buddy Diego.
Oh yeah.
You are impacting me. I know my daughter would just love a dog.
Ooh, yeah. Well, we should talk offline. I see the pros and the cons. We got a dog that came to us crate trained. Does she want a big one or a little one?
We are in a situation where I think we would probably get a bigger one.
Okay. Yeah, ours is small. But the breeder was really good. She basically trained it. So.
I've been putting my foot down as long as I do a daily show. I can't have a dog just because I can't deal with a dog barking or potentially barking every day.
That's the other thing is our breeder. So schnauzers are kind of yappy, but our breeder got one. She's schnauzers are so yappy. The breed's going downhill. So she only breeds them with parents who don't bark. So our dog has barked literally 10 times, 10 barks total in 3 weeks.
Wow.
10 roughs. Yeah, so she's super calm, but yeah, I'm gonna go get her.
Although part of me does want a little bit of a guard dog. So I guess I do want my dog to bark.
Guard dog, she ain't it.
Yeah. Well, we'll chat more offline. Mando, you just walked into a weather and dogs conversation, which is a bit
we're a real bear market now, aren't we?
At times.
Not me. Logan depressed the whole audience yesterday, and now we're just talking about dogs.
We can't talk crypto because Logan will just go down more bear rabbit hole.
My mom hates me, all my friends hate me. What am I going to do with myself? I just moved out. Tough being Logan, man. Tough.
Yep.
Mando, how are you?
Life is amazing. as always. Very positive attitude.
All right. Well, folks, what are we going to talk about on today's show? We'll get into the market. It's mostly a chop day, I think, ahead of a big macro week. So we've actually got some big earnings, Coinbase hood coming down the pipe. We got Mr. Beast buying a bank. Unclear if there's going to be crypto tie-ins to this. Tempo is acquiring all the Ethereum all-stars. They got the Farcaster co-founders. Backpack is raising at $1 billion. That came out of nowhere. Polymarket and Kaido. Polymarket is reviving Kaido single-handedly. To enable you to bet on attention while Jump Trading gets equity stakes in their company. We got some big meme action from the night as well. Banker continues to pop up a few new runners as well. And we got to talk the latest with Ace Trader with stats on with us. Mando, if you're ready, then we can get into a little market report.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
Yeah, I mean, there was talk of a bit of a chop. It does seem a little bit worse than a chop. I think we did kind of go sub 69K on Bitcoin, ETH head back down to 2K, and Solana 84. So like some of the relief that we've seen has been kind of given back up. The one I'm looking at, honestly, here is HIP. HIP has had a decent dip back down now, sitting at 29. I had some bids at 29, which still have not been hit, but that is one I'm looking at and saying, I like it. There's been some like light FUD, as always, whenever Hyperliquid sells off. I think it's a mixture of like, they've got unlocks coming, and I think we know what else it was, but it's like just some FUD. But I like it. I haven't pulled the trigger because, like I said, the level's at 29, but that is the one I'm kind of looking at this sort of level. Everything else, not a lot, apart from obviously Rex, which I'm in love with, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot in terms of the charts, which is showing much momentum to the upside. Interestingly, in terms of the macro picture, gold has bounced and it's looking good, but not like incredible. It's still put in a slightly lower high here. So if it goes like above 5,100, I think we'd be in a good spot. But for now, it's just kind of hanging out at this just level just above 5K. You've seen a bit of a rally in silver as well, but silver, I think, is underperforming gold on this bounce. And tech stocks are generally a little bit lower. So across the board, the only other like macro thing I'm looking at again is copper. Kind of still looks like it's held up okay and is still hanging out around all-time high. If that one was to start to rally, I definitely don't want to miss that, because that is it's one of the only things which is like near all-time highs or at around all-time highs, and I think could have a decent run. So yeah, that's one I'm kind of looking at from the macro perspective. Other than that, I have basically no positions, guys. Don't really feel the need to. I don't, like I said yesterday, and I tweeted it out and got a mixed response, let's say. I do think we could be in a range here for a while. And that's my base case. So I'll wait until I see obvious prices to get in rather than trying to make it all back on this. And I think you will get obvious prices to get back in. So like I do think we'll get a decent level to get back into a few very good trades. So that's what I'm waiting for. Patience, patience, patience.
It does feel like that is the name of the game right now. Hype specifically, I want to dig into. So I've seen it. I think underperformance is fair. I mean, it's down 7% on the day. What jumped out to me is I typically check their HIP-3 volumes. It was fun to check when they were going parabolic up and to the right. They fell off a cliff.
Why is that?
I need to double check to make sure there's not like a data error in this. Like, this is such a substantial drop off.
Yeah.
They were hovering at 3 billion a day, and now it's 500 million. So it's down.
I guess silver, the volumes really decreased, but it did feel like this wasn't just silver. This was like stocks, wasn't it? Yeah. Maybe I'll drop it to 28. Maybe I really like Hyperliquid. I think it's a really good thing to be involved in. But
Mhm.
one thing that I've said, and the reason why I got out of Hyperliquid when I did, is because it's really concentrated still. So when it dips, it tends to underperform, and when it rips, it tends to outperform. So like when it starts to move, you're like, oh my god, get me as much as possible. But if one of those guys starts to sell, then it can be not the prettiest. So I'll keep some at 29. I think I'll move some to 28, but that is a coin which I want to buy. It's one of the few things in crypto which I just think has a very clear valuation proposition, and I think is proving that it's a real thing. So
Yeah, I think that much is clear. I've been tracking it lately a little bit more against Bitcoin and trying to. This is maybe a little more personal, just because I've been debating: do I swap some Bitcoin to HIP as my primary?
So some punks to hype, maybe punks to hype is the trade.
I just can't. That's probably the more rational trade.
Yeah, you can't take, no, now my punk is me.
Yeah, too much emotional attachment. Taking the 75% haircut or wherever it is a little too painful. I do have a broader question of like how far can HIP run against Bitcoin? Is it somewhat range bound? As in, is it somewhat contained by macro action?
Well, HIP went from 21 to 37 and
Yeah.
Bitcoin dipped. So I actually think it's slightly counter cyclical in that it rallies when everything else is dumping, like really dumping. But I do agree that if Bitcoin drops down to low 60s, it may get hammered. It would just be the thing I would buy. Like, so I'm looking at it. I have to say that part of my thesis was the HIP-3 stuff, quite a big bit of it. So that's made me question it if those numbers are real.
Yeah.
What about HIP-4?
Oh, what's that?
That's the prediction market stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. I guess I'm somewhat valuable. Like, if you look at how other prediction markets work, as we spoke about yesterday, it's a mixture of market makers coming on, and they're being incentivized by a centralized team. The way that Hyperliquid has generally done it has not been about that. It's more like product first. And I think, like, if you read about the deals that like jump trading and Susquehanna and some of these other market makers are doing, they're getting paid like a loss back feature almost to provide liquidity. And I don't think HIP's going to be doing that. So my guess is that it's valuable for options, but maybe not prediction markets. I think it's more a question against like Deribit rather than I wouldn't be that bullish on the prediction market bit of it. I'd be more bullish on the option bit of it.
Makes sense. Sam, stats, I want to tag you into the conversation. And Mando just kind of mentioned he's flat. Like, are you just holding through this? Like, what's your view now that we had the big sell-off starting to maybe find a bottom chop zone?
I got a lot. I have a handful of Bitcoin, some Sol, and some ETH, and some HIP, and I don't really trade that much. So I'm just kind of sitting here watching my money disappear. It's hard to want to add, though. It's like you lose a lot of money, and good traders know, like, okay, that pain is the buy signal. But to me, I'm like, make the pain go away, and I like sell. So I'm just like the wrong guy when it comes to incremental trades. One of the things I'm tracking is I bought some Bitcoin at the Pico top in 2021. So I'm like sitting here trying to hope that stuff gets in the money, because I bought it at like, there was a minute where I was down on my 2020, 2021 Bitcoin purchases.
Incredible.
So that's kind of how shitty of a human trader I am.
Let's see. So
that's 1 month though. You got to go like 5 year. Oh no, it's not. Yeah.
Each candle's a month. So
yes, you had some ticks there that were like at 63K, and we got below that for a couple seconds.
Oh yeah.
So
and we're well below.
I'm just like I think generally speaking that buy and hold is The problem with crypto is that most things go to zero, So, and it's not clear that anything other than Bitcoin has really bucked that trend over time. Even ETH, ETH has underperformed inflation for 5 years, right? So I don't know, but I'm kind of like Bitcoin's just kind of the one you just kind of want to buy and hold. And I don't get too active with the trading.
You don't see the lower or the higher lows.
It's pretty hard for me to get too excited about that chart. I'm trying to do everything I can to come up with a tweet that gets all the ETH maxis pumped about this chart, but it's hard.
It's tough.
2000 psychological floor.
Good thing. Yeah. Good thing there's no more yaps because it's hard to come up with good content.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, right now my feed is all different people playing basketball against LeBron.
My feed is whatever post I looked at yesterday for a second is 25% of my
Well, the worst thing about Twitter right now is if you like a post, it is reasonable. It is reasonably possible they will give you 10 tweets in a row, which are quote tweets of the post you liked. Like the multiple quote tweets of the same post is what really gets me. That just shows that like they're being lazy.
Oh, you like that? Here's 10 more versions of it.
Tyler,
here's 10 people with comments on it, and everything else is over.
You got any US
football play? It can be literally a football play, like stuff that has nothing to do with my history.
Anybody got any USA curling mixed doubles in their feed? That's what mine's a lot about that because I've engaged with.
Here's the thing, Logan. When people complain about their feed, it's also a confession.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
my feed is a lot about birds and USA mixed doubles curling, who plays, I think, for the gold later today.
Interesting. Yeah. Don't touch the all men curling. Logan doesn't care about that, but mixed doubles, he wants that.
I have a buddy who moved to Charlotte, and I sent him one clip of a Charlotte Hornets stat, and now, like, literally, it is a quarter of my feed every day for weeks. Charlotte Hornets. So that is the state of that. I do. We got to talk Ace Trader. It has been a big day. Round one is in the books. Much to our good friend Farouk's trend. He fell below the line, folks.
No, but he got promoted. He got promoted.
Oh,
yes!
This is breaking news.
Breaking news. Farouk got promoted. Look at my feed. I think my feed has it somewhere. Let's see. Let's find. Man, I got a lot of junk I posted. The top 8. I posted it 1 hour ago.
Top 8. Check your DMs. Oh, here we are. Oh, the top 8 fighting for $1 million fund in live 1v1 trading matchups. We've got it. Oh, Crypto Gorilla made it. Oh, wow.
You had to claim your spot, and there was a little bit of there was a little controversy, a little sense that maybe some people had 2 spots. Single traders trading 2 wallets. So there were a couple things in the top 8 where where we needed and Farouk ended up getting promoted from no man's land.
I always wonder about that. So if you multi-count this, you can effectively just take both sides, right? And you have a decent shot.
People are going to find a way to play the game, but we wanted humans as opposed to wallets and 8 unique humans. So we'll see. I had nothing to do with this decision. I woke up in the morning, I saw Farouk was in, and I'm always happy for when Farouk rakes in a W. So let's see what happens.
Well, so do we know this next stage 3?
We'll say this is this is the bracket. This is it's 30-minute one-on-one trading competitions.
Wow.
Yes. So it's one-on-one trading competitions. This Two Sharts guy, he's got that guitar there. He's I'm going to be doing a podcast with him. He's a full-time guitar maker. So he literally makes unique guitars for individuals that want special guitars. He has an Instagram. It's really cool stuff. And this dude just comes out of the woodwork and is up 500% and just blows everyone away. And he was up every day. Like he did not do the let's win and ditch. I think he made it on shorts, but we're gonna find out what happened today.
Yeah, he pretty much led. I mean, beyond like the first couple of days, it seemed like he was top of the leaderboard for most of the.
Yeah, and I'm glad that no one who got the buyback actually ended up winning.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's a good outcome.
It'll make Easy happy. Easy was Easy was in my grill about the buybacks. He was really in my grill, so I got to tell him no one made it.
Yeah, then he lost anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, can't be in my grill if you're in 60th. I mean,
30 minutes. So, like, do both players get to like agree on like what 30-minute block that is? Because like Froke's in Hong Kong, for instance.
Yeah,
but his opponent might be in the U.S.
Yeah, no, this is Fortnite tournaments, Australian Open. You don't get to negotiate. You just show up when the tournament director says time to come. You think Djokovic is out there saying, "I need 2 hours later because I'm tired"? Come on.
All right, February 12th, 1400 UTC. So that's like 9 a.m. Eastern.
No, that's every time zone friendly. I think not.
Yeah.
Not super friendly.
Do they have to make a trade, or can you just stay flat and hope your opponent blows up in 30 minutes?
I think you can stay flat.
I've thought about that. So we'll have to.
That's psychological warfare right there.
Tomorrow, ahead of the Open, we'll have to think through some strategy. So like a 30-minute session, there is a lot of game theory. And are you able to see your opponent's trades, or is it black box? Do we know? I'm
not sure. Let me check.
Because there's certainly some strategy there.
I'm going to the management Slack room.
Live streaming on Ace Trader X and YouTube. Oh, all right. So we probably will be able to see what they're doing if it's going to be live streaming. This is pretty exciting. So it'll be pretty fun. Can we confirm? I want to confirm UTC to Eastern 1400.
No one understands. I don't think anyone in the world understands UTC except for Mando and a few other British people.
So this is the 30-minute window before markets open. US Open. That 30, which is usually a fairly volatile, very volatile 30-minute period. There's a little bit. I mean, we used to have the trend where you would kind of go back to the prior close potentially. That might be first order thinking, but.
Yeah, I thought the 30-minute thing was a little weird, but at the same time, I think they just want to turn this into a spectator sport.
Yeah, I like it. We haven't seen one do it.
We'll see what happens.
Trying things out in the arena. We'll see how things go, and then the grand. Okay, so will the grand final then be the same setup? It'll be 30 minutes for it all.
Yeah, same format the whole way through.
All right. So ahead of Friday's show, we will know the winner. Maybe it'll be our good friend Farouk. So we will certainly be wishing him luck. We'll go through a few more of the headlines. Breaking news before the show. Poly Market bringing Kaido back from the dead, seemingly. Perhaps the cause of Kaido's death were overblown. But Poly Market is going to offer attention markets now, in partnership with Kaido AI. So you likely will remember how Kaido got famous and got put on the map was their mindshare visualizations, which I think people pretty universally liked until the Yap campaigns kind of soured everyone on InfoFi and Kaido. But that was pretty useful data. It was for the first time I really got to see what is trending, what are people talking about fairly objectively before the incentives changed it. Well, now that data, my interpretation is that data will be used for poly market lines, and you will effectively be able to bet on, what will be the top trending segment on Twitter or on crypto Twitter for the week of February 10th. Where my head immediately goes is, if there's incentives based on the prediction markets, that this just be gamed, but at even higher degree if these markets are liquid. So that was my initial reaction. Stats, curious if you have any take on this. I know you were at least loosely involved in the InfoFi era, a top yapper.
Yeah, mindshare.
Yes.
I mean, look, I think all these things, when you start paying, I don't know. I just feel like eventually everything gets gamed and it kind of becomes the worst version of itself. And then it just, so this stuff doesn't get me too excited, but we'll see what happens.
Logan, any thoughts on your side? Does this make Kaido? Is Kaido a screaming buy?
No, no, I'm not buying the token. My thoughts. I don't really care that stuff's going to get gamed because stuff gets gamed in every single market ever. Kind of again apathetic to that, but it stinks when the things getting gamed like naturally are going to impact our consumption on the social media side. Like I don't want Twitter to get even. I guess how much worse can it get, but like I don't want it to get even worse than it is now. And that's my concern with the gaming stuff. At least when like the Super Bowl halftime show gets gamed, it only is impacting like, maybe the performers or whatever, and not our consumption habits.
Well, it was impacting insiders as well. Insiders who bet that Cardi B wasn't performing because they knew that she wasn't, but it turns out that she did. Notably, Kaushi on the CNBC homepage today, Super Bowl trading past $1 billion. And I think I saw that the total Nevada handle was like 147 million. So they are just smashing the IRL sports books right now, which is a pretty significant total, pretty significant trend. Volume is up 2,700% year over year. Bad Bunny's first song marked 100 million. This was the wild one. We talked about this yesterday with Mando, but $100 million bet on the first song of the halftime show.
It's not gambling, Tyler. It's a truth machine.
We're predicting the future of what Bad Bunny will open with.
Yeah, these are the important things that degenerate males need in this country: is more opportunities to gamble on random shit that only 1,000 people who have insider information know.
Do you see that quote there in the middle from Tarek? Down a little bit. The insider trading risk is very real for the stock market as well.
Yeah, except for the fact that if you get hints of it, you go to prison for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've seen mid-level guys at Netflix go to prison because they told their dad about what earnings would look like. Literally. I mean, there is an entire, like the idea, the tendency for new markets to blame traditional markets when traditional markets just have infrastructure to prevent against this stuff and such extreme consequences that you just have to be an idiot to risk it. And versus this stuff where you basically have Brian Armstrong saying it's actually a good thing because it's a truth machine, not a gambling market. It's like, guys, but whatever. It's play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's if you're betting on the first song, and you don't realize that there are 1,000 people out there that know the answer, then it's your own fault for playing that game. If you don't know the answer,
I do think we're going to a world. So like jump trading is going to start getting equity in Polymarket and Kaushi for market making. Like how far are we from just like the fake insider in a lot of these markets where Fresh Wallet comes in, bets 30K on a side just to trap folks. Like I feel like it's the follow the new insider bet is not going to last.
Well, it's just going to get won by more manipulators, right? But it's like, I don't know. I have one of my best friends from Uber is actually a very senior guy at Kaushi, and I'm spending this weekend with him. So we'll see. We'll chat.
Yeah, let us know.
We'll chat truth machines.
I imagine that they're in good spirits after this weekend. I mean, the volumes have just been awesome.
Yeah. I think the business is unquestionably booming. I think there is realistic concern that it's kind of short-lived in the sense of like just the regulatory edge that's out there may not be long-lasting. And I think also anytime you're on the inside of a company like this that's just growing so damn fast, it's hard to keep up. But can't complain when you got the money flowing in.
And the other aspect of this, I've seen the take that the CFTC is woefully understaffed. To the point, I saw this take that there's one lawyer left in the Chicago office.
Oh, I mean,
and
Doge did not cut the deficit, but it did cut the number of people working on problems.
So there's basically no way. There are no police.
No.
Gosh, did you see that last quote?
Oh, I noticed this. Yes.
If I was a different person, I would launch a crypto scam right now because there's no cops on the beat.
Not great. That was not the quote I wanted to see.
Well, I mean, they say the same thing about the IRS. Like, there's never been a better time to like cheat your taxes. Like, they say they got like HR people out there auditing folks.
So the Wild West will likely
let it rip. Let it rip.
And the prediction markets are jumping all over it. Do not think they're actually. I am curious. So where do volumes go from here? I mean, the Super Bowl, pretty big blow off top. Like, are these levels of volume going to continue through NBA? I mean, I guess we've got Olympics.
Yeah, you have a lot of. I mean, March Madness is a month away. I mean, the sports stuff, like there's really no better time than maybe in the October range. You know, post Super Bowl though, this is a pretty key sports level, at least for American sports. I don't know too much about like the soccer schedules, but you got March Madness coming. You have the NBA playoffs coming shortly, and like more meaningful NBA games for a third of the teams anyway. You have baseball pitchers and catchers reported yesterday. Of course, those aren't going to be like Super Bowl level events, but the addition of all of them together, should keep markets and volumes up, because I mean all the volumes they're getting are sports, right? Like 90% of the volumes are sports.
It's a sports gambling platform. Like, that's what it is.
We can get
You're right though. March Madness, like the NBA Finals. I mean, that Super Bowl was terrible too. It was not like a very gambleable Super Bowl. It was absolute garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a highly volatile game by any means. So it looks like 70% of the volume last week was sports. I would have guessed higher.
I bet the category marking on this is probably so bad because the entertainment ones are probably all Super Bowl related. It's semantic arguments here about what should be labeled what. It's all sports related.
That bumps it to 80%. Kalshi's volume last week is higher than the entire prediction market peak for the 2024 election, to give you some perspective on where this is at. So they're certainly blowing.
It's higher than all of Vegas. I think it's higher than all of Nevada times like 5.
Yeah. That was the stat I read off. I think Nevada took like 147 million and Kalshi did $1 billion on the Super Bowl.
Like what? Yeah. I mean, I think Robinhood funnels through Kalshi. So all the Robinhood volume shows up as Kalshi.
Yeah, but maybe not for too much longer, right? They so Robinhood and Susquehanna purchased Ledger X, I think at the end of last year, with the expectation that deal is going to close sometime soon.
Yeah,
to potentially be able to offer their own liquidity and branch away from Kalshi as well. At least I think that's the suspicion about why they went ahead and did that. I don't know that there's been formal details about the plans there. So, but yeah, Robinhood, a serious part of the distribution for Kalshi, that's for sure.
They've got bigger means.
I can bet on Robinhood in 3 clicks, and Kalshi would take me a little bit more to figure out how to. I don't even have money in Kalshi, so.
Robinhood leaning in so much that the homepage of their app had bet on or predict Super Bowl action over the weekend. So they're clearly leaning in.
Well, like Gemini, you might have talked about this last week, Tyler, but Gemini cut 25% of its staff, right? It exited markets overseas to focus on prediction markets. That was like one of their core focuses, focus on the American crypto market as well as prediction markets. So it's kind of, it's why, I mean, everybody is playing here. Coinbase obviously playing here too. I've seen nothing good about Coinbase's prediction market thus far. I don't know if anybody's used it or not, but I haven't seen anything.
It would just get booed, like their Super Bowl ad. We talked about that enough yesterday. I did see even the Morning Brew picked it up. Like, this is the average American reaction to the Coinbase Super Bowl ad. And it was the clip of them flipping off the screen. So not the best. You know who's not buying a prediction market, at least yet, is Mr. Beast. He's busy buying a bank or a banking app. His Mr. Beast Industries just acquired fintech startup Step, which I guess is a banking platform for teens. So he is leaning into teen banking. They've already raised $490 million. Pretty high profile folks. Steph Curry, Justin Timberlake, Will Smith, and the Chainsmokers. This is who you want to be investing alongside titans of industry from the fintech investing space. Don't know a whole lot else about this startup here, other than the backing and Mr. Beast getting in. I think he's got the messaging here. It's important to understand financial health from an early age. He wants to give younger folks the tools to do this. Logan, I'm not sure if you look into this.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot. It isn't FDIC insured. I mean, like this is, I guess, what you'd consider real. I had not heard of STEP prior to this article yesterday from Stacy. But I think I can resonate with the message about younger folks. I think it singles out here Gen Z in particular, but even younger folks than that needing to be aware and be educated about personal finance. I think I don't know that the quote is in this particular or maybe somewhere else that he mentions that nobody taught him anything about, finance as he was growing up. I can, at least from my own experience, nobody really taught me anything about savings, investing, etc. So I can definitely understand the message, and I think that's admirable. But they're also like a business that needs to make money, so we'll see, exactly how it manifests itself at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that's a common trope that like one of the problems with American school system is there's no personal finance. I think the easy counter to that is who's qualified to teach that on the local individual level, and like what rules are out there that they're going to follow, right? Because I think folks have a variety of risk appetites, and yes, you could teach the basics. I'm in the camp that that's not necessarily a huge problem, and that you should teach other things. Personally, but that's a longer discussion. But I am curious. So, like, are teens if your target audience is teens, so teens are going rogue and opening their own bank accounts. Their parents aren't helping them out. I've got a lot of questions on the user base, but
maybe it'll be the home for Trump accounts, or one of the homes for Trump accounts in the future.
I saw something are you talking about like some stat that like 40% of like 18-year-olds have gambled at some point in their life or something?
No, I wasn't mentioning that, but that doesn't surprise me. I'm actually surprised it's not higher than that.
It might be higher.
Yeah.
The stats just spitting out kind of random, misremembered stats.
It's going to be a huge deal where the Trump accounts do go. I thought it was going to Robinhood, but maybe I'm misremembering that. We'll have to check that out. I don't know that Mr. Beast's bank is in the front running for that, but certainly is possible there, Logie. Going through the rest of the headlines it was like kind of a headline heavy day, not a super juicy headline day. Tempo continues to take all the talent from the Ethereum ecosystem. So that they grabbed the Farcaster co-founders, Dan Romero, Varun, officially joined Tempo. This came, how long ago did they walk away from Farcaster? Was that a week ago? 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, so now we know a little bit more about the background and perhaps why. Saying stablecoins generational opportunity. Tempo working on the most important problem in finance, building a global payments network that's fast, inexpensive, and transparent. This comes along with their deep bench of talent. They have Dankrad from the Ethereum Foundation, along with others. So is Tempo going to be the slam buy when it comes out? Seems like that it's setting up that way, but likely won't be cheap by any means. Not sure if you had any reaction to this. So Logan, we haven't really debriefed. I think you were a Farcaster user, at least briefly.
Yeah, pretty heavily for a bit. I don't have too much to add. The decentralized social stuff seems great in its ambitious, like lofty goals, especially as we've talked about the product that like Twitter has put forth at this point in time, or X, whatever, just unable to keep and get users. And so you saw Farcaster kind of spin right to like the wallet focus, the tradable asset focus. That wasn't doing it either, but it seems like the spin out is going to be a continuation of that to some degree. Actually, kind of related to that in some way. Did you see the notification from Jesse at Base yesterday about the Base app? They're like shutting down the creator fees, I think, moving to just like tradable assets. Crypto social, decentralized social, whatever you want to say. It's just like it's really hard. It's really hard. Nobody has solved it just yet. So there's like almost too many problems to try to solve as soon as you attach tokens and stuff to the social component. It's almost game over.
I did see Jesse's comment. I'm not sure if this is the one. So we're making base app feed tradable assets only.
Yeah.
No Farcaster. I'm not seeing the fees in this.
Yeah,
post.
it might be in the base one. The quote tweet. Yeah. Part of the shift we're sunsetting creator rewards. Like that was the thing that they were championing so hard. Crazy.
What do you guys think of just like this big picture trend going on in our country right now? And that kind of crypto's always stood for. Man, I'm curious your thoughts because you're deep in this game. But like on this idea that you should be able to gamble and bet and on everything. And people sometimes like use the term financialize everything, but we're seeing it in tweets like this. We're seeing it in Jesse's like kind of idea of tokenizing like creators and obviously, prediction markets and giving everyone access to basically spend, and not only that, like every commercial is like a DraftKings ad right now. And it just feels like we're in this moment where there's some idea that being able to gamble on basically everything that moves is what this world needs. And is it just being pushed by the people who earn fees, or is this actually something we believe in?
Man, you might be.
I do think we're heading towards hyper gambling in society, and I think that's more a reflection of income inequality than it is around the gambling firms. I think obviously there's been acceptance of it too, but I just think that people are realizing that the way that particularly the last 15 to 20 years of capitalism have worked, it's become about who owns assets. And if you haven't owned assets, then, or like a huge amount of assets, then you've kind of been left behind. So this idea that the only way to like get to the next rung is by gambling. And some of that's overt in that like it's just a casino. And some of that's everything that people do in crypto, meme coins, leverage, prediction markets, like the reason why people are in crypto is not to make 10x gains. Like, I think society is moving towards that for a lot of people because they see that as the main option to kind of re-rate themselves. So I do think that I have to say that the practices of some of the prediction markets, I think, has been in some ways even more aggressive than like. Have you seen these Calci ads? They've got a lot of heat recently. For like the tone of them, which is like, oh, you can't pay your rent, gamble.
Yeah,
and it's like
I have this like visual of
the doesn't feel like the right thing to be promoting.
I have this visual of the gas station, kind of to your point, Mando, where you always have like 3 homeless people buying lottery tickets, and it's like we're just trying to like amp that up on steroids now and make that a full society thing.
I think that's probably fair, but I also don't like the amping up. I think is also like a direct correlation to the actual situation in society, which is people just don't feel like they can own a house. They can't re-rate themselves. And if they worked as hard as they possibly could, they couldn't get to the sort of levels that they need to do certain things. So they see this as like, right, well, I'll try this. And some of it's more overt and some of it isn't. But I think the idea of people having to reach for more risky things to make big changes to their life is, it's just going up. It's going up massively.
I think I'm on the other side of that to a degree. Like I don't deny that is happening. I think it's one of those things that's like it's a little bit more geared to those who are like terminally online. Like they feel like this is this trend. But like in my group of friends who skew like sports gambling heavy, people are betting on the Super Bowl, maybe $100. Like they're doing it for fun. Like no one is betting on it to try to make their rent for this month.
Yeah, I skew away. I just think like we're in just like I think it's kind of part of the whole Trump movement, the crypto movement, the freedom movement. It's like freedom, financialize everything, power to the people, when in reality, it's just a big wealth transfer from retail to shareholders in a lot of these companies. And somehow, and to your point, like we're earlier, Tyler, it's like you get rid of the regulators, and you kind of regulation bad, freedom good. Just feels like a bit of a social movement right now, where it's actually the losers who are promoting it. It's like they're kind of working in conjunction with the shareholders of the companies that are just raking in fees and putting a Kalshi ad on every single Reddit feed on the planet. I don't know, if it feels less like just a natural outgrowth of widening wealth gap, which I do think is the cause of most problems in society right now, and polarization and whatnot. But it feels more deliberate. It feels more like a movement happening, and like it feels like it's actually somehow through this administration, as well as through the crypto movement and the bro movement, been pitched as freedom and, you know, getting rid of the banks, and instead we're just gonna like give our money to Kalshi, betting on if someone's gonna run naked on a football field. But I don't know. You guys know me. I'm a cynical boomer.
A little bit, but like my mother-in-law, last time I was with her, she crashed out briefly. She said, like, I'm paraphrasing. It's everything's gambling. Bet on everything, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And like, you know, I live in that world, and we like live fairly different lives. And then she kind of came out of nowhere and said that, like, okay, like this actually is getting pretty pervasive.
Well, it's every single ad you see is from DraftKings. I mean, she should meet my friend Jesse Pollock. I mean, he literally talks about everyone should be betting on creators, and we still don't even know what that means. It's weird. It's weird coming from Jesse, who I've always thought is just like such a dialed in, smart guy. But
well, Nigel, I've got the post up. I don't know if folks saw this. He co-founded FanDuel and has been deep in the gambling space. He called out Kalshi's latest ad campaign. Effectively, says do the comparison to Juul, and now Juul had a very positive approval rating early, and then quickly went south, and largely because of their ad campaigns and how it was geared towards kids, and that Kalshi needs to be careful because they're kind of going down a similar route here.
The number of people under 18 who've gambled, Logan, you're right, it's like 70%. And it's going higher. Sports gambling revenues were up 57% year on year this past October. So yeah, and I think the bigger thing is the user experience just isn't good. You know, like it's good when you win, but over time you lose, and you lose because fees decay you. Eventually you're going to have that one you think you won, but there's something in the T's and C's you didn't understand. And if you are not an insider outside of like random sports gambling, you know, you're going in 30-70. I just think over time, people are, you know, now granted, the casino industry has done well, even though people lose money all the time. So perhaps I'm wrong, but I just like question if the user experience is as buttoned up as it wants to be to like build long-term retention.
I think it's interesting that some of the big brands have also pivoted from the truth-telling machine narrative to now just the bet everything. Like yeah. I think Tarek and Kalshi are just pure bet everything. That's their tagline now. But did you guys bet when you were under 18? Because I did.
I did.
Well, you couldn't.
The UK has got a much more liberal attitude to this than the US has had for a long time. So like sports betting was like, I mean, I used to bet on the Grand National every single year. Like when some of the earliest memories it was just like a horse race. Like the UK is a bit different, I think. Maybe the rest of Europe slightly different. Some countries like Italy's got a lot of gambling for a long time. It's just I think in the US it's been rejected for a long, long time, and now it's suddenly opened up, but that happened under Biden.
This has been brewing for a while,
even earlier. I think
it's been rejected. I mean, I don't think anything like this year, Mando, sports gambling revenue in 2025 up 54% versus Biden's last year. I think there's just a movement right now to get rid of regulators in the name of freedom, give people these chances. And ultimately, though, any movement that has these values in the end accrues to the fraudsters and the insiders.
Yeah, no, I think the poly market, the allowance of prediction markets in the US is something that, I mean, we spoke about it yesterday on the show. Like that really will open up gambling. The way that it's done as well is very easy for people to understand. And I don't know. You guys can decide as a society if you want it or not.
I think the big thing for me that makes it is that it's much easier to go on to like, you know, Avalanche playing the Wild 70-30. That's just more intuitive than -160 or plus 120. Like the way that it's presented to me just feels so much more digestible than the way sports books are in gambling, where you see these random numbers and I've had so many smart, educated people like, what does minus 140 mean? And this is just right there, and you can watch it real time. And there's something about like the excessive, kind of like Robinhood did with stocks. I just think like the form factor works so much better. And everyone was already onboarded onto Robinhood. So you didn't have this onboarding problem.
Another big change is it's easier than ever to bet live. Like you used to not really be able to. Then you started but it wasn't, the lines weren't as good. But now I think a ton of their action, I don't have the data, but I feel like a ton of the action has to be live in game. But it's an interesting discussion there, Stats. Thanks for bringing it up.
The other thing I will say is like, I think when I worked in the stock market, it was just like widely accepted that, cigarettes, alcohol, and gambling were just like the forever industries. Now, cigarettes, I think, is kind of on a structural decline, but the broader point of like vices, regardless of how good they are for you, just seem to get wallet share over time, like feels, and I think what Mando's saying kind of supports that as well.
I mean, alcohol's on decline as well, right? At least in short term.
That's true. No one drinks anymore. It's kind of annoying, actually. I hate going to like a party and no one's drinking. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
It's the GLPs.
You think so?
And the peptides.
But my friends who drink aren't all on Ozempic. My friends who don't drink, I got a lot of friends who've like quit drinking. I'm like the one person who like supports drinking on the timeline. I feel like NFT God, these guys are literally talking about drinking like it's, the destruction of humanity. Do you know what I blame, actually? I blame the Whoop strap and Aura.
Yeah.
Whoop, yeah.
Because Whoop, there's nothing that's more toxic to the numbers that some engineers in Boston have decided is important for your health than alcohol. Alcohol, literally, like if you drink like 5 beers, the Whoop strap basically sends you like a funeral home number just so you can start getting ahead of things. Like, your recovery score is like 3 out of 100 if you have too much alcohol. So,
sometimes that matches how one feels the next day, though. Sometimes it doesn't.
My thing on alcohol, the reason I like alcohol is because I would not be married to my wife if it weren't for alcohol. We had 3 days. She was in Hong Kong for 3 days. Like neither of us are the type who'd put ourselves on the line, and like a few beers deep, we put ourselves on the line. And 14 years later, we've been married for 14 years. And I honestly don't think she and I would have actually had the courage to, so that is something where meaningful. Now I also don't have a drinking problem. Now if you told me you can't drink for a month, I wouldn't care. If you told me I couldn't drink coffee, I'd be like, oh, that kind of sucks. But like no alcohol would be no issue. But I'm just like, alcohol has helped my life. Like a lot of events, I just like had more fun, made friends because I just had a few drinks. So I don't know. I'm actually I'm bullish alcohol, but again, it's sensitive to say that when it's ruined so many lives.
I met my wife at Sluggers, a fine bar establishment next to Wrigley Field. So
we're so old-fashioned meeting people in person, Tyler. Meeting people in person.
And there's something to lowering one's inhibitions, right? And I think I understand the negative effects, but if you're not drinking and health maxing, you're just staying in your basement and on your phone all night. All right.
Or going to a bar, kind of retweeting Mando's daily messages from the bar because you haven't had enough to drink and you don't want to go talk to people. I'm for it though. Elon's paying more for Mando, so I like that.
Got a lot of Sluggers fans in the comments. We'll have to have a Sluggers meetup with some of the boys if prices ever rebound. Maybe I'll pick up a few myself. Well, folks, we went off the rails a little bit, but it's a fun discussion. And honestly, there wasn't a whole lot else to talk about. Banker went up substantially, had a nice little 30% move. It does look like they have launched a new token launcher. I think this is also somewhat correlated with why Jesse turned off the creator fees. The base team is clearly found like this is their new it factor. They've got the agentic tokens right now. They're going to lean into that. So expect more of that. Banker is kind of in pole position right now, but at 100 million, a lot of things have to go right. I have noticed their revenue is starting to fall down a little bit. So I think if you're trading that Banker token, you want to keep an eye on that. But big move there overnight. Up at 111 million, basically at new highs, new local highs. Yeah, and that not a whole lot of meme action really to go through. This giraffes meme was the big runner of the night. It went up like 10x. Endure the storm, because the giraffes have nowhere to hide during the storms out on the savannah. So that is our analogy for us still in the crypto trenches during February 2026. There's nowhere to hide. So you got to endure the storm. With that, Producer Charlie, let's spin the wheel. Let's give away some Yeet money.
I brought the lucky dog. I brought the lucky dog for the spin.
There he is.
There we go.
All right, let's give it a go. All right. The name is familiar, but I don't think they've won recently. So I know Producer Charlie will check behind the scenes. So again, folks, how we're doing it this week is we're going to select one winner per day. And then next week when Farouk's back, we're going to do a mega spin. Everyone's going to get to come on and get their action live. Isby says, finally me. Congrats. You have won, sir. Well, I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in today. Stats, thanks for joining us. Stats plus dog. Mando, of course, Logan, thanks for jumping in today. Folks, we'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Until then, go have a beautiful day. Goodbye.